Hello, my name is Andrew Welfle, and I'm a research fellow at the University of Manchester, and I'm based within the Tyndall Centre for Climate Change Research. Within the Tyndall Centre at Manchester, we have lots of research that focuses on the adaptation, the prevention, and the mitigation of risks associated with climate change and increments in atmospheric carbon emissions. Within the Tyndall Centre, my research focuses biomass and bioenergy. Bioenergy being the generation of energy from biomass materials, biomass also being known as organic materials, which are all around us. They may be materials that we throw away at home, thrown away by our restaurants or supermarkets. They could be crop materials produced by our farms and agriculture. They may be energy crops, things grown specifically for the bioenergy sector, such as palm oil, soya, or in the UK, miscanthus or poplar. The interesting part of research area of bioenergy that I'm interested in is how to generate low carbon emissions and how it may be used as a mechanism to replace fossil fuels such as coal. To provide an example here is a piece of coal. Coal is essentially organic materials that have been underground for many thousands of years. Subject to heat and pressure, the organic material has been compressed into hard carbon organic material. If I was to burn this coal outside now, we would produce some heat, and we'd also produce lots of CO2 emissions, which would contribute to global atmospheric emissions. The problem with coal is that it takes many thousands of years to produce. So once this coal has been burnt, it can't really be replaced on a good time frame. In contrast, here I have some biomass. Biomass material is essentially the same material as within coal, but minus the many thousands of years underground with heat and pressure. The interesting bit with biomass is that I can still go outside and burn this. I'll produce some energy, and I'll also produce CO2, which will contribute to atmospheric emissions. But the good thing is that as long as this biomass continues to grow, as long as it's produced sustainably, there will be a constant uptake of CO2 back from the atmosphere. So any emissions generated as I burn it will be in balance with those taken up from the atmosphere as the biomass continues to grow. Our research shows at Manchester that if we do life cycle assessments, that we can produce bioenergy with lower carbon emissions compared to fossil fuels, and therefore they provide a viable option for replacing fossil fuels going forward into the future. For example, we've done some work looking at heat bioenergy, where we produce heat in the UK from different sources of UK biomass, for example, wastes, for example, straw, for example, energy crops, and we can produce heat with lower GHG intensities compared to natural gas and many other fossil fuels. So bioenergy could be a viable option to decarbonise the heat sector. That's just one example. Bioenergy is a really interesting area to work in because it's very closely linked to the bioeconomy. Biomass materials may be turned into transport fuels, they may be turned into fuels for heat, fuels for power. They may also produce a wide range of base chemicals that are crucial to developing the UK bioeconomy. The bioenergy and the bioeconomy are crucial for the UK's plans going forward, as they are key to the climate change debate and key mechanisms to decarbonise. They also produce many, many jobs and can be key sources of funding, producing billions and billions of pounds for the UK going forward into the future. Moving on to the COVID-19 question. COVID-19 represents a very interesting question and a research theme, if nothing else, for our community, because COVID-19 has given us time to rethink. With many of the research areas focused on bioenergy and climate change generally, there needs to be changes of actions, changes of opinions. Basically, change needs to happen. We are going to go full forward in meeting our climate change targets. And the buzzword at the minute with COVID-19 is green recovery. How are we going to bounce back from this COVID-19 crisis? And with things like energy, how are we going to have a green recovery and use renewable energy technologies as the platform to produce our energy in the future? So COVID-19 has provided this opportunity to rethink, has provided an opportunity to think about alternative methods, for example, for producing our chemicals, alternative methods for producing our energy. Bioenergy is one of the many renewable energy technologies that could be at the heart of that green recovery. Bioenergy is also interesting as compared to some of the other renewable technologies. It can be used at a dispatchable rate. For example, we can use it to produce baseload energy, where other renewables could complement it. During peak times, for example, fossil fuels could be replaced by bioenergy to provide a base load of energy. Energy from wind and PV and other sources could be used then to cater for the peaks of energy in our day-to-day lives. COVID-19 is really interesting as well as a research question, because it also provides opportunities to rethink the infrastructure requirements. If bioenergy and the bioeconomy are going to flourish, we're going to need some infrastructure decisions. We're going to need sustainable supply chains. We're going to need large plants, whether that's biorefineries to produce chemicals, or large plants to produce bioenergy itself, or bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, BECCS is also known. So COVID-19 has given an opportunity to rethink about these infrastructure questions. How can we go forward and produce the infrastructure required to stimulate the bioeconomy and generate more bioenergy? Another crucial question in my area of research is supply chains. To generate bioenergy, and to generate chemicals, you need a sustainable supply of resources. In the UK, we are blessed with certain resources, maybe not with the extent of resources required to balance all our demands. So we currently require lots of resources imported from abroad. With the many issues with COVID-19, there have been questions about supply and how secure is our supply in the future. For example, if there was limitations of what resources could and couldn't be transported around the world. The COVID-19 has provided a great opportunity to look inward at ourselves and look how secure are our supply chains, and what biomass resources at home could we make better use of to produce our own energy sources, to become self-sufficient, to produce our chemicals, to produce our energy. So COVID-19 has provided great opportunities to look at the security of our supply chains. The bioenergy and bioeconomy are therefore great options to stimulate this green recovery. And we think they should be really considered and should be bumped up the agenda as opportunities that could be pursued by the UK to decarbonise, to produce jobs, to stimulate the bioeconomy, and to generally produce a greener, better UK. We have much research going on at the University of Manchester and within the Tyndall Centre specifically, where we focus on many of the themes I've discussed today. Please go to our website to see our ongoing projects, and we're always happy to engage and collaborate. We look forward to getting in touch with you.